unmute? Can you unmute yourself there?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Sorry, CXO Services. That small lowercase x says to the public and clients that I started as a CFO, I have been a COO, and I've also been a CTO and a CEO. So I've been all the X's. Okay?
Oh, that is wonderful. I am very impressed. Well, I'm glad I asked about it because I thought, what on the earth is that talking about? So you will have 15 minutes for your presentation. And would you like to, I will turn it over to you.
Very good then. Let's see if I can make my screen share work for everybody. So can you see this title screen of Entrepreneurial Ecosystem Inputs to Regional Economic Development Dialogue?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, super. Well, first of all, if you don't mind, by way of introduction, I'm located here in Pensacola, Florida, which is the northwest edge of the state of Florida. Most recently, we were impacted by Hurricane Sally. If you all don't watch our local news, that's okay. But the incubator, which you see in the background of my my photo, was severely damaged. So we're closed for reconstruction at the moment. And I wanted to point out to you, I'll move out of the way here, that the gentlemen and the ladies who are here in this picture, they were Jordanian mayors and town council members who visited us in the spring of 2019. I thought you might be interested to know that we do encourage foreign visitors who are interested in entrepreneurship, and we've had visitors from all over the world come to our incubator in order to share lessons learned from their communities and also from ours. So I just want to kind of set that up for you guys so you have a little overview. We are very plugged into the global community here, even though it's a small town of about 500,000 population. So it's a lot of farmland, a lot of forestry, and a lot of fish, and they're in the ocean nearby in the Gulf of Mexico. So let's just finish up here. One of the reasons why this slide is being presented is just because it's really about trying to explain to the entire region that we live in why we need entrepreneurship and innovation as a way to diversify the economy. This is a largely tourist economy here. There are some major manufacturing companies, but not a lot of technology firms. We have a growing university with a growing engineering school. We have a research institute who has competed globally in robotics and took a second place challenge globally, losing to a team from Japan. So we are interested in creating a more robust ecosystem to support people. We're also looking at best practices, which is one of the reasons why I'm very interested to have learned so much from this event that Dr. Hanadi and her team have put forth. We're trying to also plug into our regional partners in the various governmental units and economic development organizations and workforce development programs in Northwest Florida's region. Obviously, as a goal, we'd love to be able to become a real hot zone of entrepreneurship and innovation. It's very difficult to attract the right kind of talent and firms. We're trying to expand scope and integration of resources to support them and to develop funding models. These are all, I believe, very common challenges to ecosystems all around the planet. And so I think we share those challenges. And now, if I can use the concept of economic gardening, I think gardening for entrepreneur-based economies is very, very important for not only the benefit of the citizens in the communities around the world, but also for the benefit of the infrastructure in the area and for future generations. So developing intellectual capital, the talent, the funding sources is very important. Intellectual capital in our region comes from the universities, from the Department of Defense. We have some research institutes here that are both military and non-military focused. We have a challenge with commercialization in terms of how well we are organized to provide a pathway to commercial success for the engineering talent who invents and does research here. We also have challenges with finding funding and improving the density of the talent base. I'm sure some of these folks are here on the call and in this conference would agree. Those are constant challenges. It's Atlanta. The gentlemen and the ladies that I've seen present from the Atlanta community, from the Advanced Technology Development Center. I've worked in Atlanta with Deloitte, a global CPA firm and consulting firm. I loved Atlanta. There are millions of people and great universities, very dense. We have one university here, not quite as many people or engineers. In terms of funding, in this region, we've been looking at angel funds. We have now built 3 regional angel funds, some that also go beyond just this local area. Seed stage funds are still what we refer to here. Maybe some of you recognize this term as country club money, which is to say the wealthy people who are in those kinds of groups, they're the people that we would like to get to know as entrepreneurs raising money. The other thing is, in this region, we're looking at how do we connect with the rest of Florida, with other regional groups. We're looking for relationships upstream to the larger venture funds, such as the ones in Atlanta, Georgia, Birmingham, Alabama, Tampa, Florida, and the Miami, Florida area. And lastly, I'm promoting this notion that we need to educate and develop our indigenous angels. We have a lot of real estate development firms in Florida, primarily focused on building hotels, condominiums, and such structures as that. Not a lot of investment by them in intellectual property-driven technology startups. So that's one of the challenges we're facing. As an aspirational goal, we would love to gain some global recognition as leaderships in entrepreneurship and innovation through performance. Here are some things I talk about in terms of delivering services and virtualization in the pandemic era, because that's one of the threads I think that's very important to touch on. Besides the pandemic, which struck here, according to the state government and local governmental orders, we pretty much went totally remote in March of 2019. Those work conditions really took the incubator, which I'm also the director of, we have 16 companies that were in our incubator with about 50 employees. They had to disperse temporarily, working from home until the governor and the local mayor of the city of Pensacola reopened buildings on a limited basis. So they were out of the building for 2 or 3 months. So we were using Zoom, we were using GoToMeeting to virtualize our mentoring sessions and also our training programs. We offer a few training programs, including lunch and learns that are covering topics of value to entrepreneurs, crossing taxation, business law topics, leadership and talent management topics. We also talk about financing options and raising money, to name a few of those kinds of expertise that we bring to develop and deliver content for our teams. We have engaged with the Kauffman Foundation recently, in fact, right before the hurricane struck in September, and we are engaged in exploring and launching the Fast Track program that Kauffman Foundation provides. We plan to launch it this fall. It's been delayed until the spring. Our building is empty. Now, past the pandemic issues, Hurricane Sally on September 16th removed the roof, and the building flooded from rain. So it now is under reconstruction, but for a while it was just not usable in any sense of the word. So those are some of the challenges we faced. Some of these other interesting platforms that we've engaged with for other events, obviously Microsoft Teams, we're using that tool. Constant Contact is a direct email tool that's integrated with our website. Google Meet we've used. Obviously, we used a lot of social media to connect with our clients and tenants in our incubator to deliver messaging on relief programs, on benefit programs that the federal, state, and local governments have offered them during the pandemic. And also with the hurricane, there are other relief programs. Digi World is an avatar-driven simulated environment that we just had a 2-day entrepreneurial session that's hosted by an entrepreneurial support organization here in Pensacola called the Spring Entrepreneur Hub. It's sponsored by a nonprofit led by a serial entrepreneur and philanthropist. It's called the Studer Community Institute. Remo is another event event platform that we've been using. We are part of an organizer group for an accelerator program by Generator. They have a G-Beta program that was launched in the fall that has a cohort of 5 startups that run 7 weeks. The goal of the accelerator is to introduce the cohort of entrepreneurs to funding opportunities. That used Remo. I didn't list it, but last night we had a group, the Minority Chamber of Commerce, focusing on Black people and people of color and other minorities, has Startups on the Blocks. This is a weekly Thursday night event. They're using Hopin, another platform, to virtualize their delivery of services and networking the community of minority entrepreneurs. We support a variety of these organizations. Finally, I'd say the real thing about being in an ecosystem and trying to expand the boundaries and expand participation is honesty, some trust. And I heard a couple of people say there was a notion here that we should do quite some planning and develop some strategies. And I heard someone counterpoint that with agile methodology. I do believe there is sort of a balance there between agile and strategic planning using older methodologies, waterfall type concepts. However, I think the fear of failure has to be eliminated or reduced. It has to be mitigated because it's important for us to make decisions and take actions. If we're not making decisions, taking actions, and then learning from the inevitable errors, then we're not going to progress as quickly as we might. But that assumes 2 fundamentals, which are very crucial to ecosystem development: trust and a courageous spirit that faces failure, as it was defined by a refrigerator quote I had from a Canadian film actress from actually the days of silent films, Mary Pickford. She said, "This thing of failure, it's not about being knocked down, it's about staying down." So for all the entrepreneurs and other supporters here in this conference, I'd like to say thank you for your time. And it really is about making forward progress constantly. Thank you for your time today.
My goodness, you have 3 minutes left.
Well, I was hoping for a few questions maybe from some of the participants. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
I do live in Florida, but I did grow up in New York City. I do talk fast.
No, I was just surprised, but my timer, and I said, my goodness, you have three minutes left yet, but that was very good. Maybe during the round table, there will be questions. We don't have any questions for you right now, but that's very good. By the way, I was the one that said agility, so therefore I can relate to what you're saying.
And look, I used to develop software in tech firms. I'm a serial entrepreneur, mostly tech firm deals. And I understand Agile because I had a lot of 20-year-old developers and systems engineers who they beat me up enough with waterfall as not the right way to do things. So I'm sold.
Okay, our next speaker and is it Hilal Al-Shabib, Billy?
It's Hilal Al-Shabili. It's from Oman.
Is he here?
Hilal, yes, it's here. Hilal, go ahead.
Yes. Oh, here. Can you go ahead? Are you here?